Super Typhoon Number 3, International Name, YAGI Natural Disaster Risk Level 4, Super Typhoon Number 3, internationally known as YAGI, is heading towards northern Vietnam with intense force, according to the National Center for Hydrometeorological Forecasting, as of 7 a.m. on September 6. The center of the super typhoon was located at approximately 19.2 degrees north latitude and 112.3 degrees east longitude, in the northern part of the Northeast Sea, about 160 kilometers southeast of Hainan Island, China, and about 600 kilometers southeast of Quang Ninh, Vietnam. The maximum wind speed near the center of the super typhoon reached level 16, 184 to 201 kilometers per hour, with gusts exceeding level 17, Mr. Mai Van Kiem, director of the National Center for Hydrometeorological Forecasting, stated that by 4 a.m. on September 7, the center of the super typhoon is expected to be at around 20.6 degrees north latitude and 108.7 degrees east longitude. Typhoon Number 3 is moving northwestward at a speed of about 15 to 20 km per hour and will enter the northern part of the Gulf of Tonkin, approximately 160 km southeast of Quang Ninh. The wind speed will be at level 13 to 14, with gusts up to level 17. The areas affected by the typhoon include the northwestern part of the Northeast Sea and the eastern part of the northern Gulf of Tonkin, with a natural disaster risk level of 4, the western part of the northern Gulf of Tonkin and the southern Gulf of Tonkin, with a natural disaster risk level of 3. As such, the northern Gulf of Tonkin is now being forecasted by experts to have a natural disaster risk level of 4, red, a significant risk level, just below level 5, purple, which indicates disaster level risk. 3 levels of natural disaster risk from tropical depressions and typhoons. According to Decision 18/2021/QDTTG dated April 22, 2021, by the Prime Minister, there are 3 levels of natural disaster risk from tropical depressions and typhoons, levels 3, 4, and 5, categorized based on intensity, scope of impact, directly affected areas, and the potential damage caused by the disaster. The risk level of each type of natural disaster is divided into a maximum of 5 levels and is associated with a specific color on various maps, indicating the increasing severity of the natural disaster. Specifically, Level 1, light blue indicates low risk, Level 2, light yellow indicates medium risk, Level 3, orange indicates high risk, Level 4, red indicates very high risk, and Level 5, purple indicates disaster level risk. Natural disaster risks due to tropical depressions and typhoons are divided into 3 levels. From level 3 to level 5, natural disaster risks due to tornadoes, lightning, and hail are divided into 2 levels, level 1 and level 2, and natural disaster risks due to heavy rainfall are divided into 4 levels. From level 1 to level 4, the risk level may be adjusted up by 1 level if 2 or more natural disasters occur simultaneously or consecutively, based on the impact of the disasters. In cases where there is a risk of severe damage to life and property, the risk level may be considered for an increase of 2 levels, with the highest being level 5, natural disaster risk. Level 3 includes cases where tropical depressions and typhoons of levels 8 and 9 are forecasted to be active in the East Sea, including the Paracel and Spratly Islands, coastal areas, and inland areas of the Northwest, Viet Bac, Northeast, Northern Delta, North Central, Central Central, South Central, Central Highlands, and Southern Vietnam. Additionally, the forecast of strong typhoons of levels 10 and 11 in the East Sea, including the Paracel and Spratly Islands, coastal areas, and inland areas of the Northwest, Viet Bac, Northeast, Northern Delta, North Central, Central Central, South Central, or the forecast of very strong typhoons of levels 12 and 13 in the East Sea, including the Paracel and Spratly Islands. Natural disaster risk level 4 includes cases where strong typhoons of levels 10 and 11 are forecasted to be active on the mainland in the southern region. Very strong typhoons of levels 12 and 13 are forecasted to be active in coastal areas, mainland areas of the Northwest, Viet Bac, Northeast, Northern Delta, North Central, Central Central, South Central, Central Highlands. Very strong typhoons of levels 14 and 15 are forecasted to be active in coastal areas. Mainland areas of the Northeast, Northern Delta, North Central, Central, or very strong typhoons of level 14 or higher are forecasted to be active in the East Sea, including the Paracel and Spratly Islands. Natural disaster risk level 5 includes cases where very strong typhoons of levels 12 and 13 are forecasted to be active on the mainland in the southern region. Very strong typhoons of levels 14 and 15 are forecasted to be active on the mainland in the northwest, Vietback, South Central, Central Highlands, southern region, or super typhoons of level 16 or higher are forecasted to be active in coastal areas, mainland areas of the northwest, Vietback, northeast, northern delta, north central, Central, South Central, Central Highlands, southern region.